so interesting to me was that Claude Hopkins talked a lot about communicating in a very digestible, easy way to understand. And he talked about how being fancy with words could hurt your overall campaigns, because most people don't talk at a high level, or like I would say collegiate level, not even like a high level, and aren't very intellectual with the way that they talk. And so, and book heavy and college heavy in the way that they talk. He's a very much of a man of the people. Like, I'm talking straight to a person, and those are the people that make up a lot of the buyers, not the people that are purchasing luxury items. So when I think of somebody like Gary Vee, that's one aspect of it. It's very like casual in his communications and direct, and like, hey, I'm just gonna tell you what's real and what I'm seeing. The other thing though is Gary Vee is very, very big on testing with social media content, and I am shocked at how many people can't comprehend that whole methodology.
Maybe that's something that we can pin this public episode in, which is testing and testing frameworks. Because there is a big overlap between the startup space, the technology space, and advertising space now. In terms of testing.
But I would say that even the stuff with the software space is from the marketing space and the Claude Hopkins space. The A/B testing and that stuff is a form of marketing. But we could peel that back.
But let's dive into that as like I think a good button for
this
Claude,
episode. So just on the Gary Vee aspect is, so like the whole idea is that you, again, this is another thing that you should clip, is that the thing that he promotes a lot is using social media to test. So he always contrasts this with the ad men of the 1950s and 60s, the Mad Men, the whole David Ogilvy era, where they would go and do their focus group tests, and they would spend a lot of money to figure out what was going on, and
or best guess,
or best guess.
It's like, oh, this is what we think is going on.
And then they would push it out. And they would get their feet, and then they would sell. And if it went well, that's great. If it went wrong, they were like, oh, maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Right.
That's how everybody in the 50s talked.
That's right.
But maybe next time. But that's an old way of advertising. The smart people would test while doing that. Those were the Ogilvies that were saying, okay, I learned from Claude Hopkins. Before we go and run a mass campaign, I might go and test it with a few focus groups, or in smaller markets, and then we'll do something bigger and more national. But they're still spending a lot of money to do this, and a lot of that was the limitations of the mediums at the time. The media, I should say. Now that we have social media and we get data back every time we post something, you can test on social media
rapidly.
Exactly. So you post something and you're like, oh, that went well, that didn't go well, that went well, that didn't go well. Oh, I have some numbers around here. This is how I'm measuring that. It's easier said than done. You still have to know what the numbers mean and what they represent, how they translate. But it's still something that is underutilized. It's testing through social media. And then when you post something and it goes crazy, then you say, okay, now I might go and expand this concept and turn it into a longer video. Or I might put money behind this.
Double down on it.
So those are areas where I would see somebody like Claude Hopkins in today's day and age. That's how I would see him approaching marketing and advertising. I think he'd be like, oh, we have to do this through mail before. Now I can just post a video and get the feedback right now and adjust.
The feedback time for mail is what, more than a week? So the amount of feedback you get today is crazy.
And it's almost real time. It's crazy. So the overlap between the tech A/B testing and then the marketing testing,
or just what A/B is. Like we talk a lot about like what we consider testing, and like you brought up a little bit with like the Ogilvy. Try a bunch of different things out in smaller markets. See what works first. Run them head to head in two different markets, or hopefully the same market. A good experiment keeps everything else equal, and change is one variable, hopefully. Sometimes it's not that clean in the real world, but like that's your idea, right? Is try a bunch of things in smaller markets, find the absolute winner, and then throw that in the national world stage, where hopefully, since you've given it, a lot of test runs, you're showing the world the best thing that'll convert, to make you even more money, instead of going out to the market, trying something and having to retry it. You can actually lose some brand recognition off of that. And so yeah, it's really just A/B testing in software. We do the same thing in Canary deployments, where if we have a feature that we want to roll out, we roll it out to a subset of the population first. If that goes well and we don't see any errors, we roll it out to larger parts of the population until it reaches 100%, and then everybody's on that version. Right? So you can do this systematically in a way that doesn't impact everybody, but you can get that feedback still. Yeah. And that's what's important.
Yeah. And I think the overlap that I see there is, most things are downstream of marketing.
Most things are downstream from marketing.
I would say almost all business activities are downstream of marketing.